over the tax reform bills have continued to flare nationwide. In another reaction to the debate, the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese and founder of the Kukah Center, Most Reverend Matthew Hassan Kukah, insisted that the tax reform bills will end financial recklessness by the elites. Father Kukah urged the federal government to ensure that the ongoing reforms lead to the country's development and insisted that it should end the narrative of Nigerians living in a country that is so blessed but are spectators to the rascality and irresponsibility of the elites. Now, Biko, the submission by Reverend Father Kukah on tax reform bills as a remedy for fiscal mismanagement. Do you agree with him?
Yes, there are the tax bills, for example, addresses the matter of indiscriminate granting of waivers. So when it's talking about the elites, in this case, people in government, they grant waivers to their friends. The country loses revenue as a result of that. If you calculate how much we have lost on these tax waivers, you will know that many of the people in government, many of our leaders are thoroughly unpatriotic. You just do things just to favor your own people, your own friends. So it will definitely address the matter of this indiscriminate granting of waivers. And the National Assembly had discussed the matter of these excessive waivers a number of times. We have even discussed it here based on the findings of the National Assembly, which pointed inexorably to the fact that we have lost so much money to these waivers. Your finance minister, the president just tells you, oh, go and grant, well, my friend is trying to bring in sugar, institute waiver. Those things are not helpful. And then we know that we have not managed our tax system efficiently. When people talk about, oh, this thing will not help the poor, I don't know how they define the poor. The poor are the vulnerable in our society, the low-income earners. This tax regime that they are trying to introduce already affirms that low-income earners, the tax burden on top of them, on their heads will be lifted. Just similar to what Governor Dodo did in Kogi to say, okay,
for 1 year.
Yeah, they need, our low-income earners need that kind of breather because they are going through a lot at this time. And small businesses too. These tax reform bills, we also address their concern, which is that you shouldn't even tax those people. So now, which is what is done, I've seen analysts on social media, especially Facebook, saying, okay, if you increase the income tax of big companies, will they not be forced to increase transfer the cost to people all over the world? It is the heavy hitters, the highest earners that are made to pay tax more. Even in America, they target the highest earners. So what exactly do you want? A government sets out to say, okay, let's tax a lot of the big corporations, big companies in our country, they dodge tax. Yes. If we are very, very diligent in ensuring that people pay tax in our country, and if we behave like the Europeans, who ensure that the punishment for refusing to pay tax is greater than that of manslaughter, honestly, so many of our big people will fill up our jails because they are not prepared to pay tax. They would rather bribe tax officials than pay. Many of them don't pay. Go check their books. Now, this tax bill seeks to address that. Company income tax will go up for the big. That is how it is done everywhere else. I don't see where we do not have equitable tax regime, except our country, where the poor are made to pay more tax than necessary. We suffer a lot of multiple taxation in our country. This is going to address this. The people who have not bothered to read.
Exactly, I was about to go there.
Who will, like Undume, say, oh, I've not read it, but this is my position. Come on. You've not read it, but you have a position?
How come?
How do you have a position on something that you've not read? Come on. Have I heard you correctly? So why meaning? You've not read something, but you have an opinion. Oh, you can't be doing that. Sure. You can't be doing that. So, such people, can you see now that some of the people that you will even expect will oppose the bill? Sheikh Gumi, Sultan of Sokoto, they are supported because some of them have taken their time to read. And they've seen that, oh, this thing actually contains some initiatives for the poor, the vulnerable. If we don't take care of the poor in our society, we too are not going to enjoy life. Do you know how many people will call you every day that, please, you have something for me?
Exactly.
If they are comfortable, if we fend for them, we take care of their needs, of course this won't be happening. People talk about Awolowo doing so much during the Western region era. The bulk of the money that Awolowo made, that he used to build those fantastic infrastructure that are still there, was from taxation and agriculture. Let them fact check me. Agriculture and taxation. But in our country, is what we don't need new taxes, and I don't think this is coming up with new taxes. What we need is a more efficient means of collecting the taxation, and if we do that, more money will come into the government kitty.
Okay. All right, we need to go on this quick break. But when we return, Majid, I'll be coming to you on some of the persons that are opposing this thing. They talked about timing. Is it the right time to actually bring about this? We need to go on this quick break. Don't go anywhere. Journalist Hangout. All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. I still have Majid Jami and also BKO. Now, before we went on that break, let's talk about most of the people who are opposing this bill. They talked about timing. Is this the right time for it? And also, when is the right time?
You see,
what is timing?
like
is there any time to help the poor, for example, which is one of the goals?
Yes.
Is there a better time to help the poor than now?
No, I will even answer that with how the former Speaker of the House of Reps, Yakubu Dogara.
Yes.
He said, by the time Americans decide to spend $20 billion to send people to space, they were saying that the timing was wrong then. But it was that adventure that led to the boom in information technology today. But then they were telling him then, why we waste that kind of money to go and
take people to space.
He was talking about this tax. I was watching him yesterday when some people talk about timing. Now, Dogara, I never knew.
Dogara,
in fact,
he hit the bush.
I was really impressed.
He hit the nail on the head, and a northerner for that matter. I mean, and see, it also said a tax that seeks to increase the threshold for small-scale businesses from 25 to 50 million that could be taxed. Now, before the law we have now, if you earn ₦1 above 25 million, you are subject to being taxed as a small-scale enterprise. But under the new regime that is coming, if passed into law,
Yes.
that threshold has gone to 50 million.
50 million?
Because it means that if your turnover is 50 million or less, then you are not subjected to any taxation, which will allow you to grow. And apart from that, we are talking about the synchronization of taxes. In fact, Dogara said something which is also interesting. Now, you reside in Lagos, you want to buy a property in Kogi State.
Okay.
And they'll tell you to go and bring, you say you are paying tax in they will say no, you have to come and pay tax in Kogi. This new law will synchronize this as long as you're a Nigerian. I mean, your tax paper in Lagos, we can, I mean, it's applicable and valid in Taraba, in Ekiti, in Nasarawa, or anywhere. Then apart from that, it will also consolidate about 14 different taxes that we are paying. I mean, you
and
go
ensure
to
that multiple taxation does not happen.
multiple taxation. It will eliminate multiple taxation. You come to a particular state, you see consumption tax, hotel tax, food tax, this tax, that tax, even joint tax board. You see all manner of taxes.
Local government will collect.
Local government will collect it. Yes. They will tell you this one is so, but this does not happen.
Even the telcos have been complaining that they are subjected to double taxation.
To double taxation,
Local government will take tax from them, state will still take from them, federal will take from them.
Overtax.
Yes. So, but this, I think it is something that people should sit down. But then I blame the promoters of this. They ought to have done more public awareness.
Okay, public awareness.
Yes. More public awareness, more enlightenment. Probably the likes of Ndume will not go and stand at the hallowed chamber and say, I've not read it, but then
he concluded that thing, because I've read some of his interview. He's a very interesting character, somebody that I study a lot. He concluded that the thing was meant to bring fresh taxes. So one of the things he said was, we don't need new taxes at this time.
Yeah.
But this thing is not meant to bring new taxes. You see, that is the purpose of first reading something. And I'm happy that in the end, we saw clearly that he had not even read it. Shehu Sani is somebody that I will always respect. Because as far as he's concerned, he just says it the way it is. He said somebody was criticizing the bill. He now invited him, okay, sit down. Have you read it? The guy confessed that he had not read it. So he was the one showing him some. You can see, I was listening to this machine cafe from Zamfara State. More and more people who are reading it, you can see their opinion is changing. Because some of the things they are encountering in the literature, they did not even imagine that it was there. So sometimes what we need, yes, I also blame them that, okay, before pushing this out, there should have been some level of enlightenment. But then it's a bill. It's a bill. And that's why the president was right when he said, whatever misgivings people have, they should take it
for public awareness.
Yes, because at the level of the National Assembly, they can still tinker with it. And I always talk about the students' loan stuff. They had to change it at least 3 times. For example, who can guarantee a loan for a student? They had to waive that because they say that it will make it difficult for people to access the loan. If you want the poorest of the poor students to access the loan, you must make the conditions, you must simplify the conditions. And that's what they've done. So basically, this time is now at the committee level, there will be input. But you cannot dismiss a bill and say they should withdraw it. It's dead on arrival. You know, even when they've not finished work on it, you have to give it time. If we just throw it away, some of the laudable initiatives in it will be gone.
Exactly.
So to say they should withdraw it first and foremost was wrong.
So, Biko, the argument that the issue of timing is a wrong argument.
How is it? You see, people say some things that when you now ask them, okay, tell me why.
Exactly.
Why you think the timing is wrong.
They won't be able to answer.
They won't be able to answer. Because they thought the thing was meant to impose fresh taxes on Nigerian. Go and read some of the arguments. So when they said the timing was wrong, they thought, oh, at a time when people are grappling with existential issues, you are bringing more taxes. They didn't know that this was not meant to create new taxes. They didn't know. They didn't know. So I guess that was one of the reasons people felt, oh, the timing was wrong. If you create a tax regime that encourages agriculture, that removes, that creates VAT exemptions, how can it be wrong? How can it be bad? How can the timing be bad?
All right, because still talking about some of the opposition of the bill, some said that the governors were not really carried along.
But the Oyedele denied that. He said they did a lot of stakeholder engagement. He said so.
The governors were represented by their Commissioner for Finance.
He said so. Yes. He said they had a lot of... They said these bills took 18 months to put together. For some people who have not read it, what they are simply dismissing. And you see what I've discovered about Nigerians in the last few years, especially the young people, is once they take a position, they don't even want you to argue with them. They are ignorant too. Their ignorance stinks to the high heavens. Yet they don't want you to argue with them. You must accept it. Abba. You must be ready for a healthy argument.
Exactly.
And that's what Oyedele said. Attack us with data.
Yes,
true.
Attack us with data.
Facts.
It's not about emotions. No, emotions will not take us anywhere. We've been in a situation before that a bill that will have benefited our country tremendously because of the fear that Obasanjo wanted to do third term. We threw the entire bill away. That is the bill about rotatory
presidency.
Rotation of power.
Rotation of power, yeah.
If that thing had sailed through in 2006, at that time, power across Nigerian states will have been rotated between the three senatorial zones. And agitation of minority elements would have been. But because they feared that everything that they wanted to do at that time, it was Obasanjo that badly wanted to do third. Yes, he wanted to do third time, even though he would deny it. But we know that he wanted to do it. At the end of the day, we threw the baby
with the bath.
Because everything was just thrown away. Say, no, let's not take the risk with this, Baba.
So we should not make such error this time.
Yeah, I mean, people should allow constructive criticism on the tax reform bills. I think there are about 3 or 4 of them, which I believe that would eliminate multiple taxes, exempt small and medium scale industry, give them enough life to breathe, and also encourage the growth in agriculture.
So I guess wider consultation,
and manufacturing, local manufacturing.
Local manufacturing.
That's VAT exception even for local manufacturing. They defined even up to the oil industry. There is VAT exception
and tax holidays.
Yes,
all of them are there.
All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to